Imagine this. You've been given a dream so vivid, so unmistakable, that you know it came from God. You can see it in your spirit. You can feel it in your bones. It's not just wishful thinking, it's a divine download. You've glimpsed the palace, but instead of being escorted into leadership, you find yourself in a pit, rejected, misunderstood, stripped of your coat of favor. And then, just when you start to get your footing, you're sold as a slave in someone else's house. You work faithfully, rise to a position of influence, and then it happens again. You're falsely accused, thrown into prison, and forgotten. That's the story of Joseph. And it's a story many entrepreneurs are living right now, even without realizing it. We see the highlight reels on social media, the palace moments where someone gets the breakthrough contract, the bestseller badge, the viral video, the $1 million launch. And it looks like it happened overnight. But the palace is never overnight. The palace is years in the making. So here's the question I want you to hold on to as we go through today's episode. What if your hidden years are not a detour, but the exact design God is using to prepare you for exponential favor? Hi, Raquel, your GPS for success. Let's get started. Today's episode is what I call the Joseph Blueprint. We're breaking it down into two lenses. So first, for those of you who are new or just being called into entrepreneurship, what Joseph's hidden years mean for you. Then after the break, we'll talk about how this blueprint applies if you're a seasoned entrepreneur who's still navigating waiting seasons because it does ebb and flow. But first, here's the principle that we'll be unpacking together. Hidden seasons are holy ground. Delay is not denial, it's design. Let's zoom in for a moment on Joseph's timeline. He's 17 years old when he has his first dream of leadership. Sun, the moon, the stars, they're bowing down to him. And his brothers, they hate him for it. His father favors him. And Joseph himself, he doesn't have the maturity to carry it with wisdom. And that's where the pit comes in. And this is what I want you to remember, that the pit stripped him of the illusion that favor equals instant fulfillment. Then we see Potiphar's house. Joseph becomes the overseer of someone else's domain. He learns systems, he learns accountability, he learns how to manage resources that don't belong to him. And that's actually entrepreneurship training 101. Managing someone else's vision with excellence before your own platform fully manifests. It's like that saying, right? How you do something is how you do everything. And then what happens to him? Prison. Joseph is cut off from visibility, but not from responsibility. He's still interpreting dreams. He's still stewarding leadership. He's still cultivating faith. And it's the very skill that he developed in obscurity, dream interpretation, that positions him for Pharaoh's court. By the time Joseph is 30, he's not the brash dreamer anymore. He's a refined leader, trained by the pits, the houses, the prisons. This is a neuroscience lens for it. I love to put the science language to help us understand, right? Our brain is wired for what's called the reward system. Dopamine gets released when you achieve something, whether that's checking off a task list or closing a sale. But here's the thing. If you ever train your brain for instant gratification, you create shallow circuits. It's like building a dirt road instead of a highway. You can't carry the weight on it. And this is the same thing when you're selling. If you're always like selling in hype, right? That is the same thing. Then your audience gets used to it. And then you're wondering why you can't get recurring sales is because you always have to be in hype mode in order for them to sell or buy from you. Joseph's seasons, right? Those waiting seasons rewire the brain differently. When you keep showing up without the immediate payoff, you're strengthening what psychologists call the delayed reward pathways. Now, these pathways are thicker, they're stronger, they're more resilient They create leaders who don't crumble under pressure because they've been conditioned to endure. So there's even research showing that people who can delay gratification, like the famous marshmallow test with children, tend to have higher achievement, better health, and more resilience later in life. Why? Because they've built the neurological muscle of patience. Joseph was building those circuits in real time. He prospered in Potiphar's house. He prospered in prison, not because of instant results, but because of consistent resilience. What does this mean if you're brand new to entrepreneurship? Or if you're hearing the call to step out of corporate, right, into your own thing? It means that your pit or your prison is not punishment. Even the job you're in right now, it is not punishment. It's training. Maybe you feel hidden, like nobody knows your name yet. That's Joseph in prison. Maybe you're building skill sets that don't look glamorous, but are essential later. And that's one of the things with entrepreneurship. A lot of things are not glamorous, like learning to handle finances, client communication, marketing basics. That's Joseph in Potiphar's house. Maybe you're serving under someone's vision right now, supporting their business while wondering when your own dream will get the spotlight. And that's Joseph as the overseer. Here's the good news: none of it is wasted. Every spreadsheet, every client call, every small post you make on social media, every time you refine your message, these are the training reps. They're building your palace muscles. I want to give you three practical keys if you're a new entrepreneur or you're being called into entrepreneurship, and it's a great refresher for those who are already seasoned. Firstly, the patience rhythm. Trust the pace. Your business won't sprint into the palace level overnight, and that's intentional. God is teaching you to handle growth sustainably. And trust me, you want it to be sustainable. Secondly, the excellence rhythm. Excel where you are right now, even if it feels small. Joseph's excellence in Potiphar's house was the reason he got promoted. Your excellence in your small task will open doors you can't see yet. Like I already said, how you do something is how you do everything. So start building that muscle. Your faith rhythm, number three. Keep interpreting the dreams, even if yours hasn't manifested yet. If you're helping someone else build, do it with faith, do it with love, do it with excellence. What you make happen for others, God makes happen for you, right? It's that concept of seed, time, and harvest. That's your seed. And in time, you will have your harvest. When I say that Joseph's seasons are real, I know because I've walked through them myself. And for about 5 months, from like December to like April-ish, 2025, things in my business, it really felt slower than I wanted, slower than I expected. And honestly, it felt like more of a wilderness than a pit. And I was following the instructions that God gave me, but those instructions, it didn't lead where I thought they would. It was just like, what's happening, Jesus? And yet, right in the middle of that hidden waiting season, still being faithful, still doing things with excellence, God was forming things in me that I couldn't see at first. And out of that season, that's where the launch of this TV show happened. One Breakthrough Now, right? Out of the same season came the birth of my custom song creation service. And my clients are calling me now like a dream maker and an angel. They love what I'm producing. They're tagging me on their personal profiles. They're sharing publicly and privately about how this work has impacted them and it's impacting their audience and their prospects. It didn't stop there. The anthology project, Saying Yes to the Whisper, that was also birthed during this season of, being in this wilderness pit. And then when I'm recording this, it's for October, but by 11/11 of 2025, I would have authored or co-authored four this year in 2025. And I even began writing my first fiction novel. One day I sat down and wrote 8 chapters. Like the other day, in a single flow, it was just flowing out of me. It's called The New Race, by the way. If I had judged what wilderness season, that season by speed or visibility, I might have called it a failure. But now, right, 2020, I see it as formation. God was birthing streams of impact I couldn't have manufactured if I tried. And that's what Joseph seasons do. They form you, they refine you, they launch you into unexpected favor. So if you're listening right now and you're in this space, here's your reflection exercise. Grab a notebook, draw 2 columns. Now, on the left hand side, write down the areas in your business or your life that feel slow, hidden, or too small. On the right side, next to each one, write what could God be training me for right here, right? Right now, what is God training me in? So let me give you an example of what this might look like for you. So on the left side, you have slow client flow, but then on the right side is training me in messaging consistency. On the left, working a side hustle. On the right, training me in resourcefulness. On the left, supporting another leader's business. And on the right, training me in stewardship and excellence. And then I want you to speak this declaration out loud over your life this week. And for more on why that really matters in declarations and how that actually rewires reality, I invite you to check out the whole first season of One Breakthrough Now. But here's your declaration. My hidden season is holy ground. The Lord is with me, and he prospers me where I am. My waiting is working. And here's what I love about Joseph. Even in the prison, he didn't stop interpreting dreams. He stayed faithful to his gifting when it looked like nobody was watching. And it was that very gift, refined in obscurity, that opened the door to Pharaoh's palace. And if this is resonating with you, I want to encourage you to go back and check out episodes 1 through 4 of season 2. We built a foundation there on identity and alignment, who you are, how to interpret old loops, and how to step into declarations that rewire your reality. That foundation is what makes today's Joseph Blueprint so powerful. And for those of you who want to go deeper, I've created a set of notes from episodes 1 through 4 that will help you not just listen, but embody these truths. You can grab them at yourgpsforsuccess.net and join us in the school community where we're practicing this stuff together. Because here's what I want you to remember. Your waiting is working. And on the other side of this break, this very short break, we're going to look at the same principle through the lens of the seasoned entrepreneur and why even established leaders experience Joseph's seasons. So stay with me. I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you for watching Prospera TV Network. We hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Shift happens right here, right now. I declare it, I wear it, I walk it out. From thought to word, from word to seed, I'm rewiring reality. Yes to the whisper, yes to the call. We stand together, we rise, we stand tall. Every word we release, we set hearts free. Saying yes to the whisper, that's who we choose to be.
The future doesn't belong to the strongest, it belongs to the rewired.
Welcome back. In part one, we looked at Joseph's hidden years as formation for those just stepping into entrepreneurship. Now let's shift the lens for those of you who are already established. Offers are live, clients are coming in, a brand with a bit of history. And yet you're still meeting a Joseph season. Not a fall apart season, but a reformation season. The palace is real, the calling is confirmed, and still, God is inviting you into rhythms that recalibrate capacity for the next order of favor. This is Joseph's operating system in Genesis 41. When Joseph steps into Pharaoh's court, he doesn't wing it. He interprets the dream, he proposes a system, and then he runs the system. 7 years of abundance, 7 years of scarcity. Storehouses, measured reservoir, distributed provision. That's not hype, that is holy administration. For seasoned leaders, Joseph's palace years reveal a blueprint not for arrival, but for sustained stewardship. Here's some neuroscience. Seasoned entrepreneurs often get hooked on what neuroscientists call reward prediction. Your brain expects today's inputs to deliver yesterday's dopamine spikes. When a mature business enters a quieter build or re architect quarter, the brain reads it as a threat and it starts pushing you toward reactive pivots. The antidote is to train delayed reward tolerance and rhythm based goals. Instead of chasing constant spikes, you stabilize your nervous system around cadence, which keeps you creative, strategic, and precise under pressure. So let's make this incredibly practical. Here are three Joseph season archetypes that seasoned founders cycle through. We all do. The first one is the abundance years, stabilize and store. Things are working, revenue is healthy. This is when many leaders they start to overcommit. Joseph doesn't. He restores, in business terms, build reserves, cash and capacity, tighten the ops, document the playbooks. You're not reducing faith, you're extending the runway for faith filled moves later. Secondly, we architect and refine, right? Your quiet build. This is the hallway between rooms. Offers are being simplified, messaging is sharpened, systems are rewired. Results can look flat from the outside, but internally you're laying track for a faster train. The temptation here is to force a launch, resist. Formation before acceleration. Lastly, steward and scale the distribution years. Like Joseph opening the storehouses, you orchestrate distribution, partnerships, licensing, syndication, team delegation, repeatable pipelines. Scale doesn't mean chaos. It means measured multiplication guided by the reserves and rhythms that you've built. So now let's translate this into 5 leadership moves that you can execute this quarter. Move number 1, capacity calibration, people, process, platform. Make an honest assessment. Where is your true bottleneck? People, process, or platform? People, right? Role clarity, culture, contractor versus hire, decision rights, process, 1 page SOPs for repeatables like onboarding, delivery, and renewals. Platform, where your content actually compounds. Is it TV? Is it YouTube? Is it a podcast? Is it through email? Joseph didn't attempt everything everywhere. He built the storehouse network that served the whole land. Move number 2, offer pruning and sequence. Seed, grow, harvest. Map every offer to a season function. Seed time, audience building, discovery, products. Harvest time, grow time. Core program, flagship service, and then harvest, high ticket, licensing, syndication, events. If an offer doesn't clearly fit a seasonal function, it steals resources. Joseph didn't store random grain, he stored measured portions with purpose. Move number 3, the storehouse reserve plan, cash, time, energy. Create 3 reserves. Cash reserve, target months of operating expense that lets you innovate without panic. Time reserve, protected deep work blocks for creation, not just for administration. That is so important. I'm trying to do more and more time reserves myself. Energy reserve, because it's, when you take the time, you'll have the energy too. Rhythms that refill you, right? Your Sabbath moments, your movements, your prayer, playing. Playing is so important. Reserves are not fear. They are faithful stewardship that lengthens your strategic horizon. Move number 4, reputation, capital, and relational grain. So in prison, Joseph interpreted dreams that weren't his. In the palace, those relationships remembered him. Your reputation capital is grain. Keep solving problems publicly and privately that align with your anointing, even when there's no immediate invoice. This builds demand latency. People keep your name on top of mind when their need matures, right? Their needs also have to mature. Move number 5, emotional mastery in the middle. Act, walk. Formation is emotional. Use the ACT model: awareness, capture, transmute, to interrupt reactive loops. Then walk the identity you declare. We talked about that before. Walk, right? W is wield your words, declare truth over metrics. A is align your actions, one needle mover daily. L is for live your loop, repeat what works, couple with what doesn't. And K, keep that cadence. Protect the rhythms that protect you. Let me give you a picture to hold. Joseph as a chief operating steward. He's not hustling for visibility. Visibility is a byproduct of obedience to the plan. His authority is not volume, it's clarity plus consistency. In Joseph seasons, God isn't reducing your impact, He's increasing your load rating. He's turning your business from a boutique into an infrastructure of blessing. So here's like some Formation OS, a simple weekly rhythm for seasoned entrepreneurs. On Monday, work on vision and capacity. Review the year's promise, your quarterly intention, and capacity constraints. Adjust your week to match reality, not fantasy. Tuesday, systems and storehouses. Improve one SOP or dashboard. Small compounding improvements beat occasional overhauls, right? It's a compound effect. Make it easy for yourself in the future. Wednesday, demand creation. Create one asset that compounds, right? Maybe it's a pillow video, a long form post, partner training. Think evergreen green. Thursday, distribution and deals. Move one partnership or syndication forward. Joseph distributed strategically, and so do you. On Friday, reflection and reserve. What created outsized value this week? What drained reserves, including your energy and your time? Those are also reserves, right? Install one boundary and celebrate one invisible win. Metrics that match formation, right? Lead versus lag. In reformation, lag metrics, cash in, followers, it can wobble. So anchor to lead metrics that actually drive the machine, of deep work blocks honored, of pillar assets produced, of SOPs created or refined, of partner conversations moved forward. The percentage of time spent in your anointing zone versus admin, right? We call it the anointing zone. The world calls it the genius zone. Hold these for like 12 weeks, and you're going to see that your lag metrics will follow, just like grain gathered in abundance that is showed up when famine demanded proof. And a word to your nervous system: if this is a quiet quarter, it doesn't mean that you're failing. Your body might interpret lower buzz as danger. Breathe, pray, name the season. Clarity calms the brain. Joseph named the seasons before they arrived: abundance, then scarcity. You can do the same thing. This is a store and structure quarter. When your brain knows the game you're playing, it stops inventing and it does invent emergencies. So grab a page and make 3 columns. Now, build, bless. So now, what is true? Which archetype am I in? Stabilize, re-architect, or steward and scale? What bottleneck, right? People, process, platform is most constraining capacity? And now in build, what is forming? Which single SOP, which offer sequence, what storehouse reserve will create the most relief in 30 days? What weekly rhythm will it protect less? Where do I distribute? Who needs what I've already stored? Name a partner, a client segment, a channel. What one action opens that storehouse this week? Here's a 30, 60, and 90-day focus. First 30 days, complete the highest leverage SOP and protect 2 deep work blocks per week. Then from 31 to 60, launch 1 pillar asset series and formalize 1 partnership. From day 61 to 90, optimize offer sequences, right? Seed, grow, harvest, and show a measurable reserve and increase. Cash or capacity. Capacity is also a reserve. Here are some declarations for seasoned entrepreneurs because we need them, right? Death and life are in the power of our tongue. I steward storehouses with wisdom. Pressure refines, not defines me. I trade constant spikes for holy cadence. My nervous system is safe in God. My reserves are righteous. They multiply my generosity in due season. Delay is design. Formation compounds my future favor. Joseph's story doesn't end with grain in barns, it ends with nations preserved and families reconciled. That's what formation makes possible. Pits stripped away, be naive. Prisons forged endurance. Palaces demanded systems. Through it all, God was present and Joseph prospered in whatever he did. It says, right? And the Lord was with him and Joseph prospered. The Lord is also with you. He has no favorites. He promises to never leave us or forsake us. So he is there with you and he will prosper you. For you, seasoned leader, this is not a demotion. Is it actually a dimension shift? The same God who gave you the dream is giving you the rhythm to carry it without collapse. Embrace the cadence. Name the season. Build the storehouses. Then, when your moment of distribution arrives, you have grain for the nations, clients, communities, causes that your brand alone can never feed. If you're new to the show, episodes 1 to 4 lay the identity groundwork that makes formation sustainable. The notes are ready for you, plus our community practice inside the Rewire Reality Workbook and the school group at yourgpsforsuccess.net. Come grab the tools, the rhythms, and the support to walk this out. Next time, we'll keep building seasons and rhythms, zooming in on how to set a cadence you can actually keep, one that protects creativity, profits, and peace. And until then, remember, your waiting is working and your formation is favor in motion. God's riches and best be yours. Bye for now.
Breakthrough. This is your Prospera era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers. You've stepped into your place. Rise, reign, and remember, you were born to shine. Welcome to your moment, Prospera, it's time.
We hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.